Hi, welcome to the Corner of Knit and Tea, episode 452. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffy Kira on Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky. I have episode show notes over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, which is where every episode show notes are. And I have an Etsy shop called The Corner of Knit and Tea, where I sell my handspun yarn and patterns. Hi, how are you? It is Monday, December 11th, and it is actually too warm for the sweater that I'm wearing. It is supposed to get up to 50 today here just outside Kansas City in the Midwest. It is sunny and it is kind of bright and cheerful, and so that's really nice. But for those of you who have been watching me knit for a while, I finished my NaKniSweMo sweater. This is, I suppose, going into the podcast before I do the tea, but I am wearing it and it is really warm and really luscious, and I'm just going to stand up briefly so you can see it. This is how it finished out. This is a pattern by Wool and Pine Designs. It is the sorrel pattern, and I knit it using approximately 2,100 yards from stash. That was held doubled, so overall it took about 1050. And I used a brushed Surrey alpaca and a Surrey alpaca silk, and then a variety of skeins that I had in my stash, and I am so pleased with it. So I am wearing it. I will not be wearing it all day because it is super, super warm, but I thought I would share that. So that is my big accomplishment for the week, is that I finished that. I finished that back Tuesday or Wednesday, and then I have been working on other projects since then. So let's go back in the schedule a little bit. I've been super crafty this week, and I'm feeling pretty good. I got a lot of things done that I wanted to. I'll talk a little bit about that. And so yeah, so today's tea is pomegranate elderflower white tea from Tea Geschwender, and it is really nice and just a little fruity, nice for the season, and it's made with South Indian white tea, tangy elderflowers, and refreshing pomegranate. So that is what I'm drinking, and of course I'm drinking it in my coffee mug, but that's okay because it's still tea. I have drunk that one before, and it's a little flowery, but I also get a lot of like the citrusy tart pomegranate, so I like that one. So this week I've been working on all kinds of things. I'll show you. There's not like a lot of discernible progress on some of the things that I've been working on. I did a few other things, neither of which I brought with me. Well, one of them I couldn't bring with me. So the things that I did this past weekend are I quilted, and I didn't bring anything with me, but I had a really fun fat quarter bundle of Halloween fabrics. And there's a photo on my Instagram if you want to see. And I put together the top for a Halloween wall quilt. And I kind of mashed up two quilt patterns that I'd really liked. And I've got the blocks all done. They just need to be assembled into the top. And then I'm going to try quilting it on my machine. But I have put kind of a pause in that because the place that I do all of my sewing work is at the dining room table. And I needed to clean that off because Christmas is coming and we're hosting Christmas at our house. So I sewed a ton this weekend and had a great time, and then I packed it all up and put it away. And so another couple weeks before I pull that back out, right after Christmas, I'll probably pull that out for the New Year's weekend and see what I can do with that. So I am a holiday off, but I did that. And then the second thing that I did this week was put up the Christmas tree, which I've said the last couple podcasts I really, really want to do. So that's up, and I have been enjoying knitting to it in the evenings, and so that has been really nice. So without further ado, let's talk about what I have been working on this week. The first thing that I have been working on is a shawl that I am knitting for Zen Yarn Garden, and I am knitting this in one of their Jump in the Pool yarns, which you can see I have very little left. I'm excited about this. This is called Iceberg, and half the skein is this kind of royal blue, and then the other half the skein is this white with lots of speckles of red and green and yellow. And I'm using a skein that was specifically designed for pooling because I am knitting a shawl that takes advantage of pooling. And I believe the name of the shawl is Turn It to the Max. It's in my show notes. Unfortunately, I think it is only available on Ravelry, so it is not linked in the show notes, but if you would like the pattern, you can find it there. It is a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to give away too much. But the premise of the shawl is basically the same as some of the other pooling projects that I have made over time, which is you knit certain portions of it, and then you do kind of a fancy fun stitch every time you come across the pooling section. And so I talked a little bit last time about how this skein was designed very half and half, and usually pooling skeins are designed in not quite such an even ratio. It's usually 2/3 to 1/3 or 3/4 to 1/4. So you have small sections where the colors that you want to do fancy stitches with kind of pop out. And this one I'm having a little bit more trouble with that, but I am knitting it and I have gotten fairly far through it. So this is a crescent shaped shawl, and then what I'm doing is kind of dropped stitches every time I come across a certain section. Now I'm not doing it with every section because if I did, it would be right on top of each other all the time. So you can see that there are sections where I've just opted to do garter because I've got some of those sections in there, but you can also see that there are some sections of blue that are then broken up. And the yarn obviously is supposed to pool and do this. It was designed to do this. And so I am moving through, and primarily I'm knitting sections that are big, and that's because I want to use as much of that kind of pooling yarn as I can. But when I only have a small section where I feel like I can pool, I do occasionally do some smaller pooling sections. Like this one right here is a little bit smaller. Let's see, this one. So you can kind of, this is one of those things that yarn leads you where you want to go, but you make the ultimate choice. You are the boss of your knitting. And so this is going to be a nice sized shawl, particularly. It won't be super warm, but it will be super decorative. And so it's going to be a nice crescent-sized shawl, and that is coming along, and I suspect I will probably finish it this week. I just need to keep going until I have a certain amount left, and then it tells you to wait until you have a certain amount left and then do a picot border, so or a picot bind off. So it's kind of fun and a little all over the place, but I really like it, and it's actually been a relaxing knit. Definitely something I can do in front of the Christmas tree, and it's basically garter stitch except for these sections. So I just have to decide when I want to throw one of those sections in, and my decision tree is there one right there? Is there one right next to it? Is there one near it? Is it time? And, you know, so I've just kind of been playing with that. So that is what I'm working on. I'm using Zen Yarn Garden Superfine Fingering Merino, which is a 90% merino, 90% merino, 10% nylon. Need my percentages to add up, and they are available in all kinds of colors, including a variety of Jump in the Pool colorways, and this is a kit that will be available probably after the first of the year. So that is the first thing that I have been working on. The second thing that I have been working on is a baby blanket of my design, and I haven't done as much on this as I wanted this week. I think I got 2 more repeats done, and I am almost done with the first 2 skeins, which means I am 2/5 of the way done. I have 5 skeins. I don't know for sure whether I'll go into the 5th skein, so I have very little left of this skein, and I have just ever so slightly more of this skein. And this is where I'm at. I have a bunch of repeats on my blanket. This is a blanket that will show chevrons kind of subtly, created through knit and purl stitches. This is one of those patterns. It does not have decreasing and increasing. It literally is just through stockinette and garter stitch. And so it's a really easy pattern, and once you get the hang of it, if you can read your knitting, it's easy to know where to place things, and they change row by row. So there aren't exactly rest rows. You do have to pay attention even on the wrong side, but mostly you're knitting the knits and purling the purls and just dealing with the stitches at the edges. So I'm excited about that. I need to wind some more of my, whoops, my phone slid down. The reason that I have not worked on this yet is because I need to wind another skein before I start the next repeat, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna run out, and so I just need to wind the skeins. So I'll probably wind 2 more skeins and try and get another repeat on this done tonight. This and the shawl are kind of my main projects right now, because the blanket is a gift for a baby that is due very soon, I believe later this week. And and it's fine if I don't finish in time. My plan is to gift it in early January. So, but I do need to keep working on it. And the shawl I would like to get done as soon as possible because I want to send it off to the photographer so it can be included in a January photo shoot. So those are the 2 things that I'm really working on and trying to get done this week. So the blanket won't get done this week, but I'm hoping the shawl will, and then I'll just have the blanket. So the next project on the needles is one that I have just been doing in little bits and bobs of time, and I have been showing this to you just a little bit. I showed it last week. As I said, I won't show it every week, but I guess I'll show it for a little while, and then it will probably go into hibernation. And that is, I'm working on a northeasterly blanket. That pattern is by Skenanigans, and I am working on it and adding Christmas colored yarn. So the new ones this week are I can't remember what, I think I stopped here last week. This is a spun right round, kind of end of the day dye pot skein. And then this one is Ba La Jolla, and it's pink that I knit socks for my nephew in because he requested pink socks. And then I don't remember what this gray is from. It's just kind of a nice and neutral pewter or silver gray. And then these two are Cup of Cheer from Yarn Love. It was a sock set that I got, and I decided that it would be great in the blanket and would add just a little bit of blue. And so that's kind of... Those two color coordinate very well. It's the variegated, and then it was the semi-solid for the heels and toes. So you'll definitely see more of that in the blanket, because actually this is a whole skein. And then this one that I just completed is Joyful Noise. It is a self-striping sock yarn from Knitterly Things, and I made some Christmas socks out of this a few years ago, and I am just about to start in on this speckle, which I can't remember what the name of it is, but I know it's dyed by Northbound Knitting. It was, it came with a hot pink skein. This one might be called, the sock set I think was Oleander, and I knit socks out of it, and so now I just have little bits left over. So that is kind of where I am with that one, and I'm just going to keep going on this. I don't know how long I am. I haven't measured it in a while. Last time I measured it, I was like 28 or 30 inches, and I want to go to 60 inches. I want the blanket to be 5 feet long, because I think it'll just be a big, really nice curling blanket. Nice blanket to curl up in, I should say. And again, I will weave the ends in as I go. I'm not leaving them all till the end, but I'm leaving them until I see what the pickup edge looks like, and if I can kind of hide some of those ends in the pickup edge. So that's the only reason those have been left so far. And once I finish the first strip and start the second strip, then I will figure out how I'm going to manage those. I definitely will not leave them all for the end, because that would be really not fun. So that is that one. So that's kind of it on the knitting end of things. I'm trying to think, because I really want to check if there's anything that I think I can finish this year, other than the baby blanket and the shawl. The only other thing I plan to cast on is my Christmas socks, and this, I can't remember what this is called, but this is by the Nordic Knitter, and it is a 6 striping, 5 striping, 6 striping Christmas colorway, and I got it on a D-stash on Ravelry for a steal, and it will go into my blanket too, but I want to knit socks with it first, and so these are my Christmas cast-on socks. So that's the only other thing I think I'm going to cast on this year, unless I get into some kind of a kick. I guess I do have a hat that's partway done, and the question is, if I finish all of the things that I'm supposed to do, will I get into a hat knitting kick or anything like that? And the answer is I don't know. I also, actually, the other thing I would like to focus on is my chicken. I've knit a total of 6 bits of feathers for it, and it's going to need a lot more, like 25, 30. So I still have a ways to go on that, and I'm hoping maybe I can use some of the downtime over Christmas to work on that. Plus, I want to quilt. So I think I have my work cut out for me, but I am excited to hopefully finish off a few things and start the year fresh. I don't have my goals yet for next year. I haven't even thought about that. It just occurred to me that like we're 20 days from the end of the year and I should think about that. So I guess I'll have to give that some thought. So spinning wise, I made a little bit of progress this week, but not that much. I finished the second skein of my Will-o'-the-Wisp. So these are the two, I finished my second bobbin of Will-o'-the-Wisp. These are the two bobbins that go together. And it was lots and lots of blues, but then it also had, you can see, a hint of orange and pink under here. And so I think this is going to be a really pretty skein. Lots of cool colors, but then just a few warm ones as kind of a pop. And my hope is that I can apply this in the next day or two and get that washed and put in the shop. That again is Hello Yarn Will-O-the-Wisp, and it's 23 micron Targhee, so it's really super soft. It will probably fluff up a little bit. It's definitely, it's soft like a merino. It would make lovely socks or something else. It's not my favorite blend for socks, and it's not superwash, but it would make lovely socks, or you could do winter accessories or mittens, or, you know, just something of that nature. So I'll be working on those this week, and I pulled out another braid just to sort of get things started, and this is I believe it's Trinkets, and it's on Polworth. This is also a Hello Yarn Club braid. I have been a member of the Hello Yarn Club for, goodness, 7, 8, 9 years, and it comes every month. So I have lots of braids from her, but I'm starting to try and spin through some of them. So I think this makes 3 Hello Yarn braids in a row, which I usually try and mix things up a little bit. I'll probably try and find something else to spin the following week. But this is Trinkets. It's again blues, but it's got some purple and a little bit of yellow and a little bit of brown. And I just love the way she combines her colors. And this is kind of a very wintry colorway to me, like blues and grays at the outside, and then a few pops of color. So I will be working on this one. This one will go in the shop. Again, it is Polworth, which is super soft and springy, so that will be fun, and I hope to have, well, I'll have at least one finished skein to share with you next week. Probably not 2. I don't think I'll get through both. So I think that's about what I have to share with you today. I hope that you are having a lovely week. If you're doing any holiday crafting, I hope you're enjoying it. I do actually have a small craft project, I think I talked about it last week, that I would like to do, and I started working on it, and it didn't come out the way I wanted, and so I got frustrated and threw it aside. It's like a mini Christmas tree project, and I have some hand spun I'm using, so I need to think about that, re-strategize, maybe pick that back up this coming weekend. And then I guess part of the reason that I don't have a ton of knitting to show you this week is because my wrist has been acting up a little bit. It's been bugging me just a little bit, and so I haven't wanted to push it too hard. So I knit for a little while each evening, but I haven't wanted to, you know, throw myself into overdrive because I would like it to feel better, not worse. So I hope that you have a lovely weekend ahead. I will see you next Monday, and until I do, I will say happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye!